We live in a world that seems to move faster with each passing day, where even the quietest moments are drowned by 1,000 concerns. Perhaps you've felt it too, the sense that something is missing, that despite all the comforts and conveniences of modern life, a subtle emptiness lingers. This isn't just a fleeting mood. It is a shared condition among many, particularly in our later years, as we face the mounting pressures of change, health concerns, and the gradual loss of people and roles that once defined us. Yet what if I told you the answer to this feeling of disconnection doesn't lie in the outside world, but within you, closer than your heartbeat, as near as your next breath? Pause for a moment. Place your hand gently on your chest. Feel the breath entering and leaving your body. That breath has been with you since the first cry you made as a newborn. It is your oldest companion. It is also the one you have probably ignored most. For decades, it has quietly kept you alive without complaint, adjusting to your joys and your fears, your grief and your love. But breathing is more than biology. It is the gateway to presence, the key to peace of mind, mental clarity, and emotional resilience. When you breathe with awareness, truly paying attention to the flow of air entering your nostrils, expanding your chest, and exiting slowly, something remarkable begins to happen. The racing thoughts slow. The weight in your chest eases. The world softens. This isn't just philosophy or spiritual poetry. It is science. Research conducted by Stanford University has shown that slow, deliberate breathing activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the body's natural rest and restore mode. When we take deep, intentional breaths, we reduce cortisol levels, the hormone responsible for stress. A study published in Frontiers in Human Neuroscience revealed that even a single session of mindful breathing significantly improves attention span and emotional regulation in older adults. Imagine that. A few breaths can change your brain. That's not mystical thinking. That's measurable data. And yet, it goes deeper. Ancient traditions from India and China, long before machines could scan our brains, understood breath as the carrier of life energy, what they called prana or chi. These cultures didn't need labs to recognize what our modern studies are now proving. The way we breathe affects everything from our heartbeat to our mood, from digestion to the very way we perceive reality. When you breathe unconsciously shallow, rapid breaths from the upper chest, you tell your body you are in danger. You prepare for battle. You live in survival mode. But when you breathe deeply and slowly, engaging your diaphragm, you tell your body it is safe. You invite healing. You allow peace. Think of it like this. Imagine your mind as a wild horse that has run free for years, guided only by noise and urgency. Conscious breathing is the gentle hand that strokes its neck and whispers, "You're home now." You don't need any tools, equipment, or expertise to begin. Just sit in a comfortable chair, perhaps near a window with soft light. Inhale gently through your nose for 4 counts. Hold it for 4. Exhale slowly for 4. Hold again. Repeat. This is called square breathing, a method now taught to veterans dealing with PTSD, to nurses in high-stress hospitals, and to older adults recovering from trauma or grief. It is simple, but it works. Not someday, today. And here lies the truth that both science and philosophy agree on. The present moment is not only all you have, it is all that truly exists. The past is memory, the future is imagination. But now this breath, this pause is reality. Breathing consciously invites you back into the truth of the now. It's not just about relaxation. It's about reclaiming your presence in your own life. It's about anchoring yourself when the storms of age, loss, and uncertainty arise. Your breath becomes your compass, pointing you back to yourself. So, if you've been feeling adrift, overwhelmed, or simply tired of the noise, I invite you to try something profound in its simplicity. Just breathe, not as a reflex, but as a practice, as a return. You may find, as I and many others have, that within each breath lies the quiet power to change not only your day, but your entire way of being. When we begin to pay attention to our breath, we are not simply noticing a biological function, we are opening a door to one of the most profound connections available to us, the link between the body and the mind. For most of our lives, breathing is automatic. It happens whether we notice it or not. But the moment we become aware of it, the breath transforms from background noise to guiding wisdom. This is not just poetic reflection. It is a convergence of ancient insight and modern science. In traditions like yoga, Taoism, and Buddhism, the breath has always been understood as the carrier of life energy prana in Sanskrit, qi in Chinese. These ancient teachings saw breath as more than air. They saw it as the vehicle of consciousness, the rhythm that sustains clarity, balance, and vitality. And now, in the 21st century, science is beginning to confirm what mystics have long known. The way we breathe changes the way we live. Studies from Harvard Medical School have shown that deep, controlled breathing stimulates the vagus nerve, which is a major part of the parasympathetic nervous system. When this nerve is activated, heart rate slows, blood pressure drops, and the body enters a healing state. Another study published in Psychosomatic Medicine found that regular breathing practices significantly lowered symptoms of anxiety and depression in adults over 60. This is not theoretical. It is measurable. Just as food nourishes the body and music calms the heart, breath can recalibrate the entire system. And yet, many of us are only using a small portion of our breath's potential. Picture someone rushing through a crowded street, shoulders tight, chest rising and falling quickly. Now picture a serene lake, undisturbed, reflecting the sky above. That is the difference between unconscious and conscious breathing. When you take a shallow breath, especially from the upper chest, the body receives a signal of alert, prepares to run, to fight, to flee. The sympathetic nervous system kicks in, flooding the body with stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol. Over time, this chronic low-level stress wears down the immune system, disturbs sleep, and clouds thinking. But when you breathe deeply, using the diaphragm, filling the lungs slowly and evenly, you signal safety to your body. The mind follows, thoughts settle, emotions soften, even digestion improves. This is why many physicians now recommend diaphragmatic breathing to patients dealing with high blood pressure, insomnia, and chronic fatigue. Let me offer you a practical image. Imagine your breath as a wave. Inhale slowly and let the wave rise, lifting you gently. Hold for a brief moment at the crest, then exhale with ease, letting the wave roll back into the ocean of your being. Do this not once, but 5 times. Let it become a ritual. Let it be the way you greet your mornings or soothe your restless nights. If you are skeptical, I invite you not to believe me immediately, but to experience it for yourself. Science can offer charts and graphs, but your body offers the real proof. In 2018, researchers at the University of California, San Diego, conducted brain imaging studies on individuals practicing focused breathing. They found increased activity in the insula and anterior cingulate cortex areas associated with self-awareness, empathy, and emotional regulation. These are not trivial outcomes. They are the foundations of a calm and meaningful life. Especially in the later stages of life, when external identities may shift or fade, this internal awareness becomes our anchor. Breathing is free, it's always with you, and it doesn't require technology, pills, or appointments, just presence. If you can sit in a chair, close your eyes, and count to 4, you have all the tools you need to begin. Inhale through your nose for a count of 4. Feel the air fill your lungs. Hold gently. Exhale slowly through your mouth for a count of 4. Let go. This rhythm, simple as it may seem, is a powerful medicine. It is a form of self-respect. It is an act of choosing to live with awareness rather than autopilot. And this practice is not just for moments of peace. It is for moments of pain, anger, or confusion. When the mind is racing and emotions run high, the breath is the one thing you can still choose. It is the lever that resets the whole system. So next time you feel overwhelmed by a memory or a worry about the future, try this. Pause, breathe, and return. Your breath is not just air. It is the bridge between your thoughts and your truth, between your past and your presence. It is your built-in sanctuary, and it has been waiting patiently for you to notice. There comes a point in life when we begin to seek not just answers, but depth, a kind of inner quiet that no external success can replace. This search often grows more pressing with age, not because we are lost, but because we are finally ready to listen. What we long for is not another distraction, but a return. And breath, when practiced consciously, offers us that return. It offers access to something most of us forgot was even available. many ancient traditions, this vital force is called prana or chi, believed to flow through invisible channels in the body much like blood through arteries. While these energy channels may not show up on an X-ray, their effects can be felt in unmistakable ways. When the breath flows freely, we feel balanced, energized, and clear. When it is shallow or erratic, we feel anxious, heavy, and fragmented. This isn't mystical metaphor. It is grounded in both ancient wisdom and modern evidence. In recent years, neuroscience has shown that slow, rhythmic breathing not only reduces stress but can shift the brain into what's known as a high coherent state. In this state, the heart and brain begin to synchronize, producing measurable improvements in focus, decision-making, and emotional stability. One study from the HeartMath Institute found that breath-focused practices led to significant reductions in anxiety and improved heart rate variability, a key marker of resilience and health in older adults. What this means in simple terms is that your breath can literally reshape your internal experience, creating conditions for both emotional healing and physical renewal. Just imagine for a moment. Every inhale drawing a new energy, like sunlight filling a room at dawn, and every exhale releasing old tension, like smoke rising from a fire that no longer serves you. As you begin this practice, you may encounter resistance. The body, especially if shaped by years of stress or illness, might feel stiff or limited. The breath may feel tight or short, but this is not a sign of failure. It is the beginning of remembering. The diaphragm, your primary breathing muscle, may have been weakened by years of shallow breathing, but it responds quickly to care. Like any muscle, it becomes stronger and more responsive with use. And more importantly, the nervous system adapts. With consistent practice, even 5 minutes a day, your baseline state begins to shift. You move from reactivity to responsiveness, from tension to openness. This isn't theory. It is the lived experience of thousands, including veterans with trauma, seniors with chronic illness, and caregivers under pressure. Their stories echo a simple truth. Breath is the most accessible tool for transformation. Let me offer you an image to work with. Picture a tree, deeply rooted in the earth, with branches reaching toward the sky. Inhale as if drawing water from the roots to nourish the trunk and limbs. Exhale as if releasing old leaves, letting them return to the soil. Your breath, like the tree's sap, carries nourishment and wisdom through every part of you. Try this visualization as you breathe, and notice the sense of grounding it brings. With each breath, you are reconnecting to something far greater than yourself, not in an abstract way, but in the lived sensation of being supported and alive. Of course, challenges will arise. Repressed emotions may surface. Sadness you didn't know you carried, fear you thought had passed, anger you never had permission to feel. This is part of the healing. Breath awakens not just energy, but memory. When these emotions appear, let the breath hold them, not as an enemy to be pushed away, but as guests to be acknowledged and released. Clinical psychologists now use breathwork to assist patients in processing trauma because breath can reach places the conscious mind cannot. And so can you. You don't need to solve everything. You just need to breathe through it. Start today with this simple rhythm. Breathe in for a count of 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, and rest for 4. Repeat this square breath cycle 5 times. Feel your feet on the ground. Feel your belly rise and fall. If thoughts come, let them pass like clouds in the sky. You are not here to control the weather. You are here to return to the sky itself, vast, open, and always present. Over time, you will begin to notice that your reactions soften. Your sleep deepens. Your body relaxes even in moments of tension. And most importantly, you will begin to trust yourself again. Not because life becomes easier, but because you are breathing fully into it. Your breath is your lifelong companion. It has carried you through joy, loss, change, and renewal. Now it is asking to become your ally. The invitation is simple. Give it your attention, and it will give you your energy back. Let each inhale be a beginning, each exhale a release. Let this rhythm guide you home to yourself. What makes breath such a powerful tool is not only its constancy, but its dual nature. Unlike your heartbeat or digestion, breathing is both automatic and voluntary. It keeps you alive without effort, but at any moment you can choose to shape it, physical healing, breath offers something even more precious in our later years: clarity. A calm mind is not the absence of thought, but the presence of awareness. When your breath becomes your anchor, thoughts lose their grip. You are no longer swept away by regret over the past or anxiety about the future. Instead, you find yourself in the present moment where life actually happens. And this presence is not passive. It is filled with insight, with attention, with choice. You begin to notice the birdsong outside your window, the warmth of sunlight on your skin, the quiet strength in your own body still breathing, still alive. Studies conducted at UCLA found that mindful breathing improves attention and memory retention in seniors, with even brief practices showing measurable cognitive benefits. This tells us something important. It is never too late to grow sharper, more centered, more alive. You don't need a meditation cushion or a yoga studio to begin. You can be sitting in your favorite chair or walking through your garden. Start with a practice known as sensory anchoring. As you breathe, bring your full attention to one physical sensation. Perhaps the cool air entering your nose, or the gentle rise of your belly under your hand. Let that sensation be your guide. When your thoughts drift, gently return to the breath and the feeling. No judgment, just return. In doing this, you train your mind the way a gardener tends a plant, with consistency, with patience, with care. Over time, what grows is a quiet strength inside you, a center that holds even when the world feels uncertain. There is also beauty in the universality of the breath. The air you inhale today may have moved through ancient forests, passed over distant oceans, or been exhaled by someone on the other side of the world. With every breath, you are participating in a shared rhythm, a global exchange of life. In a world that often feels divided, this realization is profoundly healing. It reminds us that we are not separate from nature or from one another. We are part of a greater whole, connected not by belief or background, but by breath itself. Philosophers have long pointed to this interconnection as the essence of wisdom. The Stoics called it the logos, the animating breath of the universe. The Taoists saw it as the eternal flow. Today, neuroscientists might describe it in terms of shared brainwave patterns during group meditation or synchronized breathing. No matter the language, the truth is the same. Breath unites. Breath restores. Breath returns you to yourself. And from that place, action becomes more intentional. You begin to respond rather than react. You start to listen more deeply to others and to your own inner guidance. You become, in a very real way, a more present version of yourself. So I encourage you today not to wait for the right moment or the perfect setting. The right moment is always now. The perfect setting is wherever you are. Breathe in gently, as if drawing life itself into your being. Breathe out slowly, as if releasing what no longer serves you. Let this rhythm become familiar. Let it become your compass. Let it lead you not only to peace, but to power, the quiet, enduring power of being fully here, fully alive. There is a quiet truth waiting beneath the surface of each breath, a truth that becomes clearer the more we practice. The energy that moves the universe also moves within us. At first, this may sound poetic or abstract, but the more you engage with your breath, the more this truth becomes deeply practical, even tangible. Conscious breathing is not just a method to calm down or feel better in the moment, it is a doorway to something far more expansive. With each inhale, you are not just filling your lungs, you are drawing in vitality, awareness, and presence. With each exhale, you are not just releasing carbon dioxide, you are letting go of tension, outdated beliefs, and the emotional clutter that keeps you small. Over time, this rhythm begins to create a shift not only in how you feel but in how you see yourself in the world. This is not about escaping life's challenges. It is about learning to meet them from a place of grounded strength, from within the eye of the storm rather than being swept away by it. The energetic systems described in ancient traditions, such as the nadis and chakras in Indian philosophy, are not merely spiritual metaphors. They describe the felt experience of subtle movement and balance within the body, a network of energetic flows that influence how we feel emotionally, physically, and spiritually. When we breathe deeply and with intention, we begin to activate these systems, clearing blockages that have built up over time. These blockages are not always physical. Sometimes they are emotional wounds, suppressed memories, or mental patterns we have carried for decades. Conscious breathing helps to dissolve these obstructions, not by force, but by presence. In clinical settings, this has been supported by studies showing that breath-based therapies can assist in trauma resolution. One example is the use of breathing protocols in somatic therapy to release stored trauma from the body, where clients often report a sense of lightness, clarity, and emotional relief after just a few sessions. These are not mystical claims. They are observations from both patients and practitioners in real-world healing contexts. As your breath deepens, so does your relationship with yourself. You begin to notice where you hold tension, where you rush, where you disconnect. And slowly, breath by breath, you begin to soften those places. It's like walking into a long-abandoned room in your house, opening the windows and letting in the light. At first, the dust and shadows are all you see. But with time and care, the space becomes livable again. This internal restoration has outward effects. You may find yourself reacting less impulsively, listening more patiently, or speaking more clearly. These shifts are not accidental. They are the natural consequence of presence. As you cultivate stillness within, it begins to ripple outward, touching your relationships, your decisions, and even the way you carry yourself in the world. A particularly powerful breathing technique that reflects this integration is alternate nostril breathing, or Nadi Shodhana. This method, used for centuries in yogic traditions, involves inhaling through one nostril and exhaling through the other in a slow, rhythmic pattern. Modern research has shown that this practice balances activity between the left and right hemispheres of the brain, enhancing cognitive function and emotional regulation. Practice daily, even for 5 minutes, it becomes a form of internal tuning, harmonizing the mental, emotional, and physical layers of our being. These small, consistent practices accumulate over time, not unlike drops of water carving stone. The transformation is quiet, but it is real. What begins as a personal practice eventually becomes a way of being. The more attuned you are to your breath, the more you begin to see how everything is connected. Your breath connects you to the trees that produce the oxygen you inhale, connects you to your ancestors who breathed before you, and to future generations who will breathe after, connects you to life itself. This recognition is both humbling and empowering. It invites us to participate more consciously in our own lives, to take responsibility not just for how we feel, but for how we act, respond, and contribute. And so, I invite you now, not someday, not when you have more time, but now to return to your breath. Inhale gently, feeling the fullness of life enter you. Exhale slowly, releasing what is no longer needed. Let this rhythm be your guide, your anchor, your silent teacher. Let it remind you that the peace,